If you're so smart, why don't you teach the class yourself? The words sliced through the lecture hall like a blade. Dr. William Harris leaned against the edge of his desk, a half-smile curling under his silver beard, while the room burst into laughter. Phones lifted. Someone started recording. At the center of it all stood Leah Johnson, a 22-year-old senior who had just corrected a tiny error in the professor's equation. Everyone thought it was just another humiliating moment for a scholarship kid who didn't belong in an elite university. But what none of them knew was that this single sentence would change everything. Leah wasn't another struggling student. She had been preparing for this moment for 4 long years. At Westbridge University, a place that looked like glass and marble but breathed hierarchy, Leah sat in the back row every day. While others cruised in shiny cars, she caught the 6 a.m. bus from the east side, coffee in one hand, worn-out laptop bag in the other. She worked nights at a diner, graded freshman papers for extra cash, and still showed up before sunrise. Her mother, Monica Johnson, a hospital nurse, always said, "Baby, you might not have much, but you'll have knowledge they can't take." Dr. Harris didn't believe in that kind of equality. He believed brilliance was inherited, and that some students, like Leah, were simply guests in a place built for others. Every semester, he found one student to remind them where they stood. This semester, it was Leah. It happened during the midterm presentations. Leah had just finished introducing her project, AI-based energy optimization for low-income neighborhoods. The slides were clean, the math solid, but the topic made Harris scoff. "Energy optimization?" he interrupted. "You're thinking too big, Ms. Johnson. Maybe focus on attendance first." The class laughed. He erased her formula from the board. "Let's see if you even understand this equation you copied from Google," he said, chalk scraping loudly. Leah didn't flinch. "Sir, you used the wrong constant," she said quietly. "That's why your result shows a 12% loss instead of 8. A hush fell over the room. Then came that smirk again. "If you're so smart, Leah," he said louder, "why don't you come up here and teach the class yourself?" Phones lifted higher. It was supposed to be funny. But Leah had spent her entire college life getting ready for moments when people expected her to fail. What no one saw were the nights she spent in the library long after the lights went out, replaying MIT lectures, teaching kids from her neighborhood STEM basics through free programs, and writing her own algorithms on a second-hand laptop that overheated every 30 minutes. She stood, took a breath, and walked to the board. Her voice was calm. Line by line, she rewrote the entire formula, explaining each step, each error, and each overlooked variable. Her logic flowed like music. Even the ones who had laughed leaned forward now, watching numbers transform into truth. When she finished, she turned and said, "Sir, with your permission, may I continue?" Harris's pride locked him in place. "You have 10 minutes before I prove you wrong," he said. 10 minutes. That was all she needed. Leah connected her laptop to the projector. Her code began running live, graphs forming, numbers dancing. "Real-time simulation of energy efficiency in poor urban grids," she explained calmly. "This model corrects for temperature variance and infrastructure decay. The things your equation assumes don't exist." Data shifted. Results aligned. The loss percentage dropped to 1.8%. Nearly perfect optimization. For the first time, the lecture hall was silent. Dr. Harris stared at the screen, speechless. "It's impossible," he murmured. Leah smiled softly. "Not impossible, sir, just untested." At that exact moment, Dr. Carla Evans, the university's black female dean of research, had stepped inside the room. She had been walking past and stopped, drawn by the murmurs. Now she stood at the back, watching the young woman who had just rewritten the rules of a field dominated by men twice her age. The silence broke with applause. First a few students, then the whole room. Even Ethan Brooks, the class golden boy, looked stunned. Dr. Harris's face went pale. That night, someone uploaded the clip. Within 48 hours, it hit 5 million views. Headline: Professor challenges student, instantly regrets it. Leah woke up to hundreds of messages, research firms offering internships, universities wanting collaboration. Westbridge University awarded her a full research grant. The dean called it an example of brilliance meeting opportunity. Dr. Harris called in sick for the next 2 weeks. Months later, Leah stood inside the new innovation lab, white coat over her navy cardigan, guiding a small team of students, black, Asian, and white, all inspired by her story. Her first initiative: free weekend workshops for kids from public schools. When a freshman asked why she cared so much, she smiled. "Because someone once laughed when I tried to learn," she said. "And I decided nobody should ever feel that small again." 6 months later, Dr. Harris showed up at her lab door. His posture was different. Shoulders low, voice careful. "I came to apologize," he said quietly. "You proved me wrong, and you made this place better." Leah looked at him for a long moment. "I accept, Professor," she said gently. "But remember, never underestimate someone who studies while others sleep." He nodded, eyes down, and left. Leah turned back to her screen, sunlight spilling through the lab windows, her reflection layered over a new graph labeled Community Energy Access Project. Phase 1. Her mother's photo sat on the desk beside it, smiling. The narrator's voice softens. If this story touched you, hit subscribe and share your thoughts below. Do you believe hard work can still defeat privilege? Because somewhere right now, another Leah Johnson is being laughed at. And maybe she's just one challenge away from changing everything.